America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Hey, I am an American. I have a right to call Elon Musk a dick. I am an American citizen. I have a constitutional right to call Elon Musk a dick. I'm an American. I have a right to call Donald Trump a Russian asset. I'm an American. I have a constitutional right to free speech. Now, I'll bet that you probably have not tuned into any other podcast or any other radio show or any other TV show this morning yet, where those words were uttered, right? I'm an American. Elon Musk is a dick. I have a right to say that. And the government can't stop me from saying that. You probably haven't heard it put that way by anybody else. But you need to understand that there's something really chilling going on right now with Trump and Trump's administration. Like all good dictators, like all good authoritarians, Donald Trump is trying to impinge upon my free speech. Donald Trump is trying to stifle free speech. I know it's crazy to come on here every day and say, there's something really dangerous going on. You need to be aware of this because, right, see, every day, hundreds and hundreds of things that Trump has said and done that are chilling, that are dangerous, that are un-American, that are unconstitutional. So when I come with you this morning and I say, you need to really pay attention to this because you might not be aware of this, but this is really fucking chilling. What I just said to you, that I have a right as an American to say Elon Musk is a dick, Donald Trump's government wants to crack down on people criticizing Elon Musk. Donald Trump's government right now is moving to squelch free speech, to squelch criticism of Musk and or Trump. This is scary. This, right? In another time, in another place, this should concern all of us, no matter our politics. I can remember being on the radio back in my right-wing radio days, and I would say, I have a right to say that Barack Obama doesn't like America. And people on the left would get upset with me. Remember, we used to make fun of the woke left. Remember those days? The left couldn't handle free speech, right, in America. The left, right? Remember, they needed their, what did we call them? Their safe spaces. So that they could be free from speech that offended them. Well, wake the hell up, America. Because right now we have what's called the woke right. We've got the right now looking, the MAGA right now needing their safe spaces from speech that offends them. Get this. Donald Trump's handpicked guy to be the U.S. attorney from D.C., Ed Martin. I know him. He's an utter hack. He's a MAGA Trumpy hack. Ed Martin is his name. Donald Trump picked him to be the U.S. attorney from D.C. This guy, Ed Martin, representing the government is sending out letters to people who've criticized Elon Musk, who've used strong language to go after Donald Trump or Elon Musk. Keep that up for a sec, Keith. This attorney, Ed Martin, sent a letter to a House Democrat who called Elon Musk a dick. This letter from the government said, excuse me, Congressman Garcia, you called Elon Musk a dick. Explain yourself. What did you mean by that? This congressman also said, hey, we're in a bar fight. He said, we're in a bar fight. I'm in a bar fight with Elon Musk and Donald Trump to defend our democracy. We got to bring the right weapons to a bar fight. This congressman said that. And because this congressman said that, we're in a bar fight to defend our democracy, because this Democratic congressman used a common metaphor that we've all used. Hey, bring the appropriate weapons to a bar fight, a metaphor that we've all used, a common metaphor. He got a letter from the government saying, you better explain yourself. What do you mean by all of this? Or the Justice Department is going to look into your threats. Again, in another life, in another time, this should send chills up the backsides of every American. This should anger every American. Excuse me, an American citizen uses a common metaphor of a bar fight, and he gets a threatening letter from the government saying, what do you mean by that? Explain yourself, or the Justice Department's going to investigate. This doesn't happen in America. I can say, in fact, I'll say it right here. I believe, former Congressman Joe Walsh, I'm in a bar fight with Donald Trump and Elon Musk every single day to defend our democracy. And I'm going to bring the appropriate weapons to my bar fight, right? Trump and Musk, they'll do whatever they want. They'll break any rule. They'll kick you in the knees. They'll kick you in the shins. They'll bite you. They'll scratch you. They'll claw you. You know what? I'm in a bar fight with Musk and Trump. I'm going to do the same damn thing. I'm going to bring my weapons. I'm going to bring my fists. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to kick them in the balls. I'm going to go below the belt. I'm going to do everything. I have a right as an American to say everything I just said. This Congressman Garcia had a perfect right to say everything he just said. I'm in a bar fight with Elon Musk. Hey, we're in a bar fight. Don't you understand? This was this Democratic congressman talking to Democrats. We're in a bar fight, man. Bring the right weapons. The Republicans are. It's a common metaphor. Do you want the Justice Department investigating private Americans for using common metaphors like a bar fight? Is that the America you want to live in? Where, oops, you stepped in it, you called Elon Musk a dick. I think Elon Musk is utterly un-American. Do you want to live in an America where I can't say that? Do you want to live in an America where when I say that, the government comes down on me and investigates me? Is that the kind of America you want to live in? And MAGA, I know you don't want to live in that America, because one day the Democrats will be back in charge. And if you criticize the Democratic president and you say, hey, we're in a bar fight with President whoever, we got to bring the right weapons to the bar fight, and you get investigated, you know that's not right. This is utterly chilling. I'm an American. I got free speech. We got free speech in this country. Hey, J.D. Vance, Wasn't it just J.D. Vance a few days ago? He's in Germany lecturing European countries for going bad and getting weak on free speech. Remember that? J.D. Vance lecturing Europe for being weak on free speech. And here we got J.D. Vance's administration utterly attacking free speech. This is really chilling. And this is consistent with who and what Donald Trump is. Let's be really clear. Trump picked this guy, Ed Martin. He's a political hack. Donald Trump picked him to be the U.S. attorney for D.C. He came out, Ed Martin, and said, hear ye, here are the new rules. You better watch how you criticize Donald Trump. Ed Martin, this U.S. attorney, put out a letter saying that they are going to keep on the lookout for Americans who criticize Trump and the Trump administration, i.e. Elon Musk, who's working with Trump. Is that the kind of America you want to live in? That's an America without free speech. This is consistent, though, with Trump wanting to be a dictator and wanting to be an authoritarian. All good dictators and authoritarians, one of the first things they do is to squelch dissent, to stomp on people's rights, to shut people up, to shut up dissent, to take away free speech. I got to tell you, this Friday, nothing that's going on in Washington, nothing that Trump has done or is doing surprises me. But I got to tell you, every now and then there's something that just fucking scares the shit out of me. And I am a free speech absolutist. I will defend any American's right to say anything and to exercise their free speech. We're not Germany, right? What hate speech is legal in this country. Hate speech is protected speech, thank God. Our Constitution protects hate speech. That's not the case in the UK. That's not the case in Germany. That's not the case in some of these European countries where we're seeing the government literally knock on doors to haul in, to go after and arrest people who've said things on Facebook or other social media platforms about Muslims or Jews or Christians or politicians or anybody. That's happening. This kind of shit is happening in European countries left and right. It has never happened here and must not ever happen here. So when Democratic Congressman Garcia says, hey, Elon Musk, you're a dick. He must never get a letter from the government, and he did. Explain yourself. What do you mean by Elon Musk is a dick? When this congressman says, hey, I'm in a bar fight with Musk and Trump to defend our democracy. We're in a bar fight, man. We got to bring the right weapons. I have a constitutional right to say that. I have a constitutional right to use that metaphor. And the government, hell no, not in America. The government, hell no, not in America, can knock on my door and say, what do you mean you're in a bar fight with Musk and Trump? Fuck off, government. I can say that. Final thought here. Every American should condemn what this U.S. attorney for D.C. is doing. His name is Ed Martin. Hey, you want something to do, America? Hey, what do we do, Joe? Every day people ask me, what do we do, Joe? What do we do? How do we fight back? How do we resist? Here's one thing. Contact this Ed Martin. Contact Ed Martin. I think his Twitter handle, send him a tweet. He's the U.S. attorney for D.C. Find his phone number. Send him a call. His Twitter handle is at USA Ed Martin, at USA Ed Martin. Send him a tweet. Tell him you have a right. You're an American. You have a right to call Elon Musk a dick. You have a right as an American to say, I'm in a bar fight with Donald Trump to defend my democracy. I'm going to do whatever I have to do in that bar fight to defend my democracy. Everybody looking for something to do, you want to resist today? Contact this hack, Ed Martin, U.S. attorney for D.C. Call his office, email him, send him a tweet, bombard him. On your own, find his number and his email. Call him, email him, tell him I'm an American citizen. I have a right to call Elon Musk a dick. I'm an American citizen. I have a right to say I'm in a bar fight with Musk and Trump. Take your fucking government intimidation and fuck off, Ed Martin. Get lost. I have free speech in this country still. And I'm going to defend it until I die. And I will defend any American's right to exercise their free speech. And MAGA and all the rest of you, this is one issue that every single American should be on the same page. We all should be on the same page. No matter our politics, we all should be on the same page defending free speech. Hey, pay attention to this. Pay attention to this. There was a town hall in Georgia last night. I'll show you in a second. Get this. There was a town hall in Georgia last night, a heavily Republican district. I believe it was Georgia's 7th district. A Republican congressman, Rich McCormick, he was having a town hall with a bunch of Republican constituents last night. And they booed this. Those Republican constituents booed this Republican congressman because this Republican congressman was trying to defend all the chaos, confusion, and incompetence that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have sprung forth. Pay attention to this. I'm going to show you a little bit of it in a second. This is a Republican congressman last night defending Musk and Trump, defending what Musk and Trump are doing, all these haphazard cuts and freezes and layoffs and all the rest. And his Republican constituents for an hour and a half booed him because they don't like what Musk and Trump are doing. They don't understand what Musk and Trump are doing. They're starting to feel some of the pain of what Musk and Trump are doing. And did I tell you? Did I tell you? These are Republicans. These are Trump voters in this town hall. A lot of MAGA in this town hall. This wasn't a Democratic congressman. This was a Republican congressman in a heavily Republican district. I'm going to play a clip in a second. Most of the town hall was spent with McCormick trying to defend what Musk and Trump are doing. He didn't do a very good job. And constituent after constituent came up and asked a question, I don't understand. Why is he cutting veterans? Why is he cutting veteran benefits? Why is he cutting cancer research? My uncle just got laid off. I don't understand. On and on it went. And every time McCormick tried to defend what Musk and Trump are doing, the crowd of Republicans booed him. And then near the end, a constituent stood up And she started to get in about how, like, and she's a Republican, about how, like, Trump is acting like a king and a tyrant. Keith, let's play that.
Will be lost forever and tyranny will rise. I believe you know the rest of his speech. Something about give me liberty. It's clear from all the writings of our founding fathers that our great republic was never meant to be ruled by a dictator nor a king.
Woo! Woo! Keep going. Preach! These are Republicans.
So you can imagine my shock and pure horror when I woke up to find that our president had given himself unprecedented executive powers, and then within a few days named himself king to his followers.
Yeah.
Tyranny.
Do you have a question for the Congressman?
I do. Thank you. Tyranny is rising in the White House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, Congressman, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's enough, Keith. Thank you. Thank you. Again, here's why I'm saying pay attention to this. That woman who said we have a megalomaniac in the White House, that woman who said tyranny is rising in this country, that woman who said Trump declared himself a king, we are not ruled by dictators or kings, that woman is a Republican. Everybody applauding everything she had to say in that town hall. They are Republicans. They are MAGA. They are Trump supporters. This is why I say pay attention to this. I don't know. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I don't know if MAGA is going to wake up. I don't know if the Republican base is going to wake up and say, oh my God, one day they're going to wake up and say, oh my God, what the fuck did we do? We have a king in the White House. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm just saying pay attention to this. If this had been a town hall in outside of Boston with the liberal Democratic rep and a bunch of Dems in the audience screaming about Trump being a king, blah, 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 I wouldn't have even given it the time of day. This is Georgia. This was red Georgia. This was a red Georgia district. It reminded me of my Tea Party days when I ran for Congress. This was one of my Tea Party town halls. 12, 13 years ago, we talked about no tyranny. We rebelled against the king. Get off of our back. No dictators, no kings. And all of my Tea Party folks in the audience would just hoot and holler, amen. This is not who we are. And then so many of my Tea Party folks in the crowd would say, Obama's trying to act like a king. It's what animated the Tea Party movement. It's part of what animated me. This could have been, one of my Tea Party town halls from 12 years ago, where somebody stood up. One of my supporters stood up and complained about Barack Obama signing some executive order. MAGA, do you remember those days? Oh, MAGA, can you remember that sweet September? Do you remember that, MAGA? Right? Those Tea Party days. Oh God, those Tea Party days where at town halls like this, we stood up and we ranted and we raved about a Barack Obama executive order. Do you remember that? Remember how angry you were, righteously angry. And now MAGA gets down on their knees and pays homage every single day to a guy who came out a week ago and said, I am a king. I don't know. I don't know if it means anything. I think it's something to watch. I think everything Musk and Trump are doing right now, because it's happening so fast and people are being impacted, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. We're firing people who are in charge of the nuclear codes. We're firing people who are in charge of Alzheimer's research. On and on and on it goes. Did you hear the one yesterday? We fired the one guy who had the one key to the one bathroom in Yosemite National Park. I mean, the stories go on and on. There's no thinking going in to what Musk and Trump are doing. And real Americans are being hurt. Real Americans are dying. Real Americans are getting sick. Real Americans are getting laid off. Did you see who's the goofball on the 5, Keith? Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters has a buddy who's a veteran. Jesse Waters, Fox News. And Jesse Waters went on the 5 yesterday on Fox News and said, "Mr. President, Elon, baby, I get that you got to cut all these faceless bureaucrats, but you just cut my guy who's a veteran, who works with veterans. He's a good friend of mine. You fired him. You laid him off. He's got a face. Oh my God, don't lay him off. Oh, please, Elon," this was Jesse Waters, "don't lay him off. Just lay off all those bureaucrats who don't have faces." I mean, I think as more and more Trump supporters get impacted by this and their benefits get cut and people they love lose their job and people they love get sick, I think you're going to say, what have we always said? When people feel the pain, when MAGA feels the pain, only then will MAGA do something. At this Georgia town hall last night, pay attention to this. A big old room full of Republicans, almost all of them booing what Musk and Trump are doing. Why? I would wager to bet that they're booing what Musk and Trump are doing because many of these Georgia Republicans are starting to feel some of the impact of what Musk and Trump are doing. They know people who've been hurt by what Musk and Trump are doing. And maybe, just maybe, maybe I can pray. Oh, Lord Jesus, I can pray. Maybe some of my former Tea Party folk are finally rising up and getting a little pissed off at the fact that we got a king in the White House. And maybe there are MAGA folk who are hearkening back to their Tea Party days and remembering, this isn't right. I'm Tea Party, I'm MAGA, because I fear concentrated power like that. I don't want somebody in the White House sending the government after me if I say Donald Trump is a Russian asset. I don't want to live in a country where the government can threaten me. I don't want to live in a country where the U.S. attorney from D.C. sends a letter out to the American people that says, if you harshly criticize people in this administration, we're going to look into it. Whoa. Maybe MAGA's waking up a little bit. Don't know. Just pay attention to this. This was a Republican town hall. Let's see if this happens more and more and more. Let me close with this. Oh, yeah. It's always like Biden. Syrax, the dragon. It's always like Biden. You tell me, Syrax, show me. I'll buy you dinner, man, if you can show me where Joe Biden called himself a king. Do it. Find it. Just do it. Let me end on this. Across the board, most people have a hard time understanding that there is good and evil. Most people have a hard time understanding that there is evil in the world. Just flat out evil. Hitler was evil. Osama bin Laden was evil. I could go on and on. Evil exists, right? People have a hard time grasping that. Hamas, the terrorist organization called Hamas, is evil. Is evil. I don't want to. I'll sit down with you and you can tell me how Hamas came to be. You can try to explain to me how Hamas came to be. All good and well, and I'll listen to all of that. But right now, February 21st, 2025, Hamas is an evil terrorist organization that needs to be wiped off of the planet. I'm not interested in trying to justify anything they're doing, and I'm not interested in trying to figure out how to keep them around. I've never believed that you negotiate with terrorist organizations like Hamas. Did you see this story yesterday, or it came out this morning? So 3 of the hostages that were captured back on October 7th, 2023, Shiri Bibas and her 2 small children, Israelis, 4-year-old Ariel Bibas and 9-month-old Kiefer Bibas, their bodies were returned. Their dead bodies were returned to Israel yesterday as part of this insane hostage exchange. One problem, the body of the woman, the mother, Shiri Bibas, it wasn't her body. Hamas put the wrong corpse in that coffin. It was the corpse of some Gazan woman. Evil. Evil. And in my world now, Israel would have every right to say, screw this hostage agreement. Boom, Hamas, you're done. But then we find out this morning that those 2 little children, 4-year-old and 9-month-old, Ariel and Kafir, taken hostage on October 7th. We found out this morning that they were killed while in captivity fairly early on, these 2 children. And Hamas killed these 2 children with their bare hands. IDF Israel examined the forensics, everything. These 2 little children, I don't know if we have that, Keith. I don't know if we have any graphic, or I should have, whatever we've got. These 2, there we go. Ariel and Kiefer Bibas were murdered by terrorists in cold blood. The terrorists did not shoot the young boys. They killed them with their bare hands. Afterward, they committed horrific acts of mutilation to cover up the atrocities. A 4-year-old Israeli boy, a 9-month-old Israeli baby. They were killed by Hamas with some terrorists' bare hands. And then the 2 bodies were mutilated to cover up what they had done. Just plain evil. Just plain evil. And on top of that, the mother's corpse was not returned. Just plain evil. Who strangles? Who strangles a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old? Who then mutilates the bodies of a 4-year-old and 9-month-old to cover up the crime? Tell me that's anything but evil. And oh, by the way, tell me you can ever have peace with people like that. Tell me you'll ever have peace with evil like that. You won't. You can't. And there will never, ever, ever, ever be peace in the Middle East until or unless the Palestinian people and the rest of the Arab world rises up against this evil. As long as Palestinians support Hamas, never have peace. As long as Palestinians, like Hamas, do not believe Israel has a right to exist, there will never be peace. As long as Palestinians, did you see yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, when the coffins of the 4-year-old and the 9-month-old, with the corpses of the 4-year-old and the 9-month-old, were paraded through the streets of Gaza, the Palestinian people cheered the killing of a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old Israeli baby. As long as the Palestinian people cheer the killing of Israelis, you'll never have peace. And look, again, we don't have time, and I'm about to wrap up here. I happy to sit down with you to have you explain to me how the Palestinian people, who have felt so aggrieved and so victimized for 60 to 70 years, that they've gotten to this point where they are cheering dead Jews, right? I'm happy to have that conversation. But right now, you need to acknowledge that right now we're at the point where the Palestinian people cheer dead Jews. A Palestinian terrorist yesterday put bombs on 3 buses in Israel. Thank God they were all found. And so the buses were emptied before they went off, before the buses exploded. I could be coming to you this morning with hundreds and hundreds of dead Israelis because of another Palestinian act of terror. Never, never, never have peace until you acknowledge right now the Palestinian people cheer dead Jews and do not believe Israel has a right to exist. As long as that's the case, as long as that remains the case, there will never, ever, ever, ever be peace. Ever. Again, we can talk about how we got here, but we're here. And October 7th changed everything. Israel, thank God, will no longer live, thank God, next door to a people that no longer believes Israel has a right to exist. Those days are done. So it ain't going to be the Gaza that you and I are used to seeing, thank God. 4 years old and 9-month-old. Evil in the world. Sorry to end on such a bad note. Thanks for listening, everybody. A good weekend to all of you. Please join me, right? No Kings in America. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. That's the website, all one word, oneflaginitiative.org. Go there, join me, become part of this No Kings campaign. If you want, change your profile pics to the No Kings graphic. We got a bunch of fun ones to choose from, but just become part of the No Kings campaign. No Kings in America, No Kings in America. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. Last thing, you want to email me about anything, please do. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. That's all one word too. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Have a great weekend. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with